Today we're covering phone interviews with HR. So typically you'll have a format where you end up with two phone interviews, at least in my experience, where you have one with HR, one with a hiring manager, somebody quantitative. This might end up being a phone call with two people, three people, but typically it's like one call, maybe two. And then if they really like you, it's either going to be an in-person interview at like a normal job, or if they just make you a job offer, it's kind of something to be a little curious about. It might not be the best job if they're not wanting to do an in-person interview. So basically the purpose of an HR interview is for HR to interview you is just to go through like the resume. Like you said, that you can do SAS and you can do statistical analysis and you can do time series, and maybe they need somebody that can program in C++ to do implementation of statistical models. So HR doesn't really know, typically they don't know like what is a boost library, or how do you build a time series model, what should you check stationarity. So there's this variety of technical questions they're probably not going to ask you, because HR is just filtering this resume to see you look like a great candidate. The job posting says these things. They'll basically kind of go through that and ask you if you have experience doing that. So again, when they ask questions, don't be like yes, no. Try to make this like a fun conversation. HR are typically people that are like social. They like to have fun. They're more energizing people, I feel like, than most people like me who are more statistical. However, when they call, they're going to ask a question like, do you have experience using SAS? Don't answer and say yes or no, because it makes the conversation awkward. They're probably going to get kind of a weird vibe from you. So the way I would answer it is, for example, yes, I've used SAS before in a graduate class doing econometric modeling, and I did that for, say, 3 different classes I've used SAS. Or you could say, no, I've never used SAS. However, I've programmed in MATLAB for a marketing internship that I had at company XYZ. So again, try to make it a conversation, try to make it fun. The basics for it that will definitely kill your phone interview is A, if it's not quiet and you don't speak clearly, because I've had phone calls before where it's like somebody calls you and it's like really noisy, and typically being like someone interviewing, I understand either you have a job or you're a student and you're going to class and you're busy, but when you schedule the interview to have the phone call in the first place, you should make sure you have somewhere that you can talk and that you have good phone service. So those are all crucial. If I can't understand you, I might just kind of go with it and say, yeah, okay, sounds good, hang up, and then I'll definitely throw out your resume because I don't really understand what's going on. I don't know who you are. You don't seem prepared. So things not to do. When you get towards the end of the interview, don't ask for salary, compensation, those type of things, because again, this is the very, very beginning step of the interviewing process. This isn't really the time to ask. That would be at the very end of the interviewing process, and that will come later in another interview video that we'll talk about. But definitely towards the end of the conversation on the phone, I would ask, if I had a great conversation, if I end up getting past like this step of the interview, what are the other steps that would come after this? And then wait and see what they say. Typically they'll tell you, oh, there's another phone interview, we can set it up. I'll send you an email in an hour or two, or I'll send you an email in the next couple of days. You'll be interviewing with these people. And then you can take that time to actually look them up before you have the phone call, and you'll be more prepared for the next interview, which will be the phone interview with details of exactly what you do for a living. So also, you might want to send a thank you letter at the end to HR. Say, hey, thank you for your time. I really appreciate talking to you about this position. And then put like best regards, Dimitri Bianco. So that's what I would do. So again, the purpose of this is not to... It's not to test your knowledge or your skills. It's just to see if you are who you said you were. And again, don't lie. Don't lie if you send in a resume and you only have, for example, say MATLAB as programming experience in R, and they ask about SAS. I would be honest and say, no, I've never done SAS. However, I've done these other 2 languages. and then leave it at that. If they think that's good enough, then allow it. If they don't, then just look for a new job. But again, don't lie. It's never helpful, and it looks bad, and HR probably won't pass you along. So that's kind of my wrap up on the HR phone interview. It should be quick and simple. Try to be happy, try to be cheerful, make sure you have a good location where you can clearly speak and answer questions, and that's basically it. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, share, and to subscribe for more career videos.